This week the heat comes from Arsenal's recent trip to the Whittington Hospital to spread some cheer over the festive period. At a time where many will be out celebrating, the children at Whittington spent their Christmas in care, and the sight of Robin van Persie, Theo Walcott, Thomas Vermaelen and Per Mertesacker brought smiles across the faces of many youngsters in the local hospital. With so much focus on football, it's the people who really matter. And to all the kids at the Whittington Hospital, you're what's hot this week. There have been many legends at Arsenal Football Club, from inspirational managers to breathtaking players. But few can claim to have as fascinating a story as Ken Friar, OBE. Once just a boy looking up at the east stand of Old Highbury, he's worked his way up through the club from errand boy to highly respected director. It's a rare and remarkable story, and one that's best told by the man himself.
My family were always big supporters when I was a kid, and I lived locally anyway, so naturally you were going to be an Arsenal supporter. So that's what really started with family tradition. I can't recall the very first match. I certainly remember going to White Hart Lane to see them play on my father's shoulders in the fog. I remember that one very well. I can't remember the date, but that was immediately after the war. And I saw many games over that period.
From being an avid fan watching games with his father, life took a sudden turn for a young Mr. Friar when fate came calling one day in 1946.
I was 12 years old and I was playing football outside the ground. As a result of that, the manager, George Allison, who I didn't even know at the time, asked me to come back the following day, or told me to come back the following day. Why I ever did, I don't know, but I did. And that ended with me being offered a job at 12 years of age and as a messenger boy, running messages between the front door and the ticket office. So I can't remember why I ever came back, because I thought I was in for a rollicking, to be honest. But I did, and that's how it really started. It's like every boy's dream, isn't it, when you think about seeing your idols. And in those days, the players trained at Highbury, so you saw them every day, and you became friendly with them and on a personal basis. So it was every boy's dream, probably. And I started in the ticket office when I left. I went to local grammar school at Highbury County, locally here. And when I left there, I went straight into the club and have been ever since. I started in 1950 and I did all sorts of roles during that time. In 1965, I was appointed the assistant club secretary. In 1973, I was appointed the club secretary, and in 1983 I was appointed managing director. So that was my career, and in about 2001 I relinquished that post, and I then spent the rest of the time between then and now very much involved with a great friend of mine, sadly, who's now no longer with us, Danny Fisman, and acquiring all the land to build the stadium and building Emirates as it is today.
At the helm of one of the biggest teams in world football, Mr. Friar has had to balance being a fan with being a servant of the club. It's a tricky task, where head and heart often collide.
You want to go home on a weekend when you got beaten and kick the dog, like anybody else. You feel the same way. But you have to be more rational about it. We've got a bigger business now than we had. Certainly when I first started, the turnover from the club was £21,000. Players' wage bill was £1,200, £1,200 for the players' wage bill. And we made a profit. Last year, I think it was, our turnover was £380 million. The wage bill was over £100 million. So you can see that there's far greater responsibilities now for everybody that works here. They don't consider it work, nor do I. Now, I think we're all very fortunate to be doing what we're doing, but you've got a lot more responsibility in ensuring that the club continues in an efficient and safe way.
After 60 years at the club, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the spring has been taken out of Mr. Friar's step. But you'd be wrong. He's as passionate about the beautiful game now as he was on day one.
Well, the beauty of this business is that you learn something new every day, and that's what keeps it exciting. The fact that you can walk in to the building and still get a tingle as you walk through. Certainly at Highbury, where they're walking up those marble steps every day, walking into that hall was something really, really special. The fact that we are here still gives you that feeling of being proud. Somebody once said to me quite recently, "Mr. Friar, you've got a marvellous job, and do you know, I would do your job for nothing." There are people here that would love to do what we do, and we're privileged to do what we do. So we're just big fans underneath it all like anyone else.
A truly unique tale of one man moving from the mailroom to the boardroom. Ken Friar has come to symbolise everything that's great about Arsenal Football Club. His rise through the ranks at his favourite team will never be repeated again, and it's a feat that has taken even him by surprise.
The height of my ambition really was years ago to be the club secretary, because that was the top position. That is now the equivalent to that now. It would be the CEO, or the MD, one of that sort of position. So I was lucky enough to achieve that, but I can't honestly say to you that was my ambition when I started out. I remember when I first started, when my boss was a chap called Bob Wall, sat at this desk here and asked me to come and see him, and he said, "Well, what do you want to do in the future? What do you want to be?" I said, "I want your job." And I was 16, so yes, I had the ambition to do that, but I can't honestly say I expected to do much better than that, and I've been very fortunate. I meet people I would never normally meet in my lifetime. I walk into the stadium, I walk around the stadium, and I get an enormous buzz going around thinking, it's quite something, yes. And so yes, I do still get a buzz. I still wake up worrying about the club, worrying about, are we going to be there in another 100 years? And we've got a plan to make sure that we are. So yeah, I still get excited, but I'm like any other supporter. I'm just more fortunate.
In a squad full of characters, everyone wouldn't mind a little something from someone else. Arsenal World is finding out who wants what from their teammates in Swap Shop. And this week, Johan Djourou takes to the hot seat.
I swap brain with Bakary Sagna because I think he's a very intelligent man. You know, he knows a lot about life, and he's one of my best friends in the club. So I think I definitely swap brain with him because I like the way he sees life. I swapped my shot with Djourou, I think, because I think that he's got quite a... You never expect sometimes when he shots, you know, the ball goes so fast, so you're always surprised. So I think that it'd be good if I could surprise a few people. I think I'll keep mine, by the way, because I think I'm the guy that hates to lose, but I'm quite calm. I swap place with Friar World Cup because he's just the fastest in the team. So if I could get his place, it would be great. I swap car with Friar because I think he's got some nice cars. So I don't say that I haven't got some, but just I will change with him. Once again, I think I'll keep mine. But if I really had to choose, I'd go for Alex to change for a little bit something different. I'm happy with mine, but I will take Friar Theo's image looks good. You know, I think he presents himself well. You know, he talks well as well. So I think that, yeah, we change with Theo.